What's up, scholars? We are back and we are outside because today we are talking about living and non-living things. Yes, living and non-living things are all around us. So we had to take a walk in order to experience some of these living and non-living things. And I've got with me today my fancy little container that's going to be used to gather some items, and we're just going to look around and we're going to ask some questions and try to figure some things out. Let's see what we see. First thing I see is right here. I see a little bit of rock. So we're going to take this rock and it's going to make its way into our container. And we're going to wonder, is this rock living or non-living? What other things do we see in our environment? I like the leaf right here. So we're going to get one of those leaves and we're going to throw that off in our fancy little container. What else do we see? Oh, I like this right here. Get these little bitty flowers that are coming off of here. We're going to get one of these little bitty flowers and we're going to throw that into our container. Ooh, I see some soil here. Soil is a very important natural resource. We're going to get that and we're going to sprinkle some of that soil into our container. What else do you see, scholars? What else would you like me to pick up today? We are trying to talk about living and non-living things. Oh, you know what I see right there? I see a piece of wood that has been broken off of something. So we're going to get this piece of wood. We're going to stick it there. Ah, some kind of children's toy. What is that? Is that a rubber band? It's like a rubber band. We'll take that. We'll take that. I'll take it all. I'll take it all. I'll take it all. All right. So when we're talking about living and non-living, what we're really trying to figure out is we're breaking the resources, the natural resources of the earth into two categories. Now, a great example of a living thing is you. Yes, you are a great example of a living thing because living things grow, living things reproduce, living things, they have metabolism, living things have respiration, they breathe, living things can adapt to their environments. There's these characteristics that just make things different than make the living things different than the non-living things. For example, take this tree right here. This tree is a living thing. This tree will grow. This tree will reproduce. This tree can have other trees come out of it. This tree can adapt to the environment. The sun is positioned. It rises in the east and sets in the west. And this tree, if it's not getting enough sunlight, it will point in the direction. It can literally change the direction of the tree. Ooh, I see another living thing right there. Let's take a look at it. Let's see, what do you see there? Those are living organisms. Those are ants. Those ants are amazing. They work as a team. They work in colonies. All of them have distinct roles and distinct tasks. The queen will reproduce and have little ant babies. They eat, consume, have energy. Like, ants are living things. So when we look at our items off in our bucket, we have to ask the question, were they living or were they once living? Now, when you're classifying living and non-living things, you're asking, is it living now or was it once living at some point? That's my shadow. It's actually just me blocking the light. And so I'm an opaque medium, so the light cannot go through me, and therefore it creates a shadow. So I can do this, and I can say, hi, how you doing? I can say, peace, you're really, really cool. I can see, look to the sky from whence your help comes. Like, I can say all of that kind of good stuff. But living and non-living, right? So now we're going to think about some of our items that we stuck off in our bucket. And what I'm hoping is that you, too, will take a nature walk, and you're going to go and you're going to gather your own items, and you're going to ask your own questions. So when we think about this rock, we're looking at this rock and we're thinking about this rock. Is this rock living or non-living, and how do we know? How do we know? Well, we ask the questions. Does this rock grow? And when I say grow, I'm not talking about the movement of the earth's crust or uplift or any of those things. I'm talking about the same way that a child grows into an adult, the same way that a puppy grows into a dog, the same way that living things grow, that a giraffe starts off tiny and then it gets so large with its huge neck, like that kind of growth. Does this rock grow? And I'm going to say the answer to that is definitely a hard no. My rock does not grow. My rock is not going to have babies. It's not going to reproduce. My rock is not breathing. My rock is not meeting any of the qualifications that we need to meet in order to be a living thing. Therefore, I'm going to say that this rock is non-living. It's non-living. All right, let's look at another one. Let's talk about the leaf. Now, the leaf is a tricky one. And why would I say that a leaf is a tricky one? Well, remember, when I first classified living and non-living, we classified them as living or once living. Whenever you're making the classification, you're saying it's either alive or it was once alive. Now, think about a leaf. Was a leaf ever living? Was a leaf ever attached to a leaf? Yes, a leaf comes from a tree or some kind of plant. And so that means that the tree is a living organism. Trees, they breathe in carbon dioxide and they breathe out oxygen. That's called the carbon dioxide oxygen cycle. That's what we use to be able to breathe. Trees grow. They start off as a seed and they move into all of these other stages as they go through germination, and then they grow up to this beautiful big tree that can produce fruits and seeds to be able to reproduce. Like trees have many of the characteristics of living things. So this leaf is a once living thing, therefore it's a biotic. It is a living thing. All right, let's say the soil. The soil is a great thing to look at. Soil is very important. The trees have to have soil in order to be able to live and survive. Without this soil, this tree would not be. So if I was to ask you, is this soil living or non-living, and you start thinking about the questions in our head, does this soil reproduce? Does soil breathe? Does soil have metabolism? Does soil meet any of the qualifications? Now, there's more qualifications to determine living and non-living things, but these are just a few of the simple ones that it's easy to classify these by. And yes, of course, you know it. Soil is a non-living thing because soil does not meet any of our criteria. And we could literally go on and on and on and on and on. Take this little plastic star that we found on the playground, right? This one's very easy, right? It's plastic, it's a star, it's a man-made item. We know for a fact that's not going to meet any of our criteria, therefore it's going to be non-living. And there's bunches and bunches of non-living resources that are important. In fact, most living things need the non-living things. Another great example of a non-living thing that we have to have is our sun. Look at that beautiful, beautiful sun. Yes, and that sun is necessary for all life, but the sun is a non-living thing. The air that we breathe, that I'm talking to you with, that air is a non-living thing. The water that we drink is a non-living thing. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go on a scavenger hunt. This sock on the ground is a non-living sock. Yes, it is non-living. I want you to go on a scavenger hunt, and I want you to look around your area, and I want you to see how many living and non-living items that you can find on your scavenger hunt, and I want you to bring those things, put them in your journal, and do what all scientists do and make great discoveries. All right, scientists, that is it for today, scholars. I want you to have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember, we've got to protect our earth. We have to protect our resources, and we will be back on soon with more amazing science.